Ever since the dawn of civilization, pigs were an important source of meat for farmers and an easy source of food for all people in this era. However, it wasn't until the early days of colonization that pig farming spread globally. Pig farming really ramped up during the 19th century, especially in the Americas, which led to the first industrial farms taking root in the area in the 1960s. This then spread to Western Europe in the 1980s and then to Eastern Europe in the 1990s following the fall of the Iron Curtain. Most of the third world, so in places such as Asia and Africa, took industrial farming to heart only recently in the 2000s. Throughout this time period, farming of pigs became more and more succinct and farms grew bigger and bigger to increase production. Eventually, farmers discovered ways to produce the most and best pig products while also cutting costs. This innovating thinking did come at the cost of pig welfare, which has been thrown into the wayside for many people, and a large number of consumers just don't care where the meat comes from or how pigs are treated, and are unaware of what really goes on beyond the scenes. In this video, we'll be looking into the economics of the pig farming industry, what good pig welfare is, comparing indoor and outdoor farming welfare, and looking into the future of how increasing pig welfare can come with an economically viable cost due to increasing demand for meat. Today it is estimated that 90% of the world population, which accounts for over 6.8 billion people, eat meat. The average person will eat 45 kilograms of meat per year by 2030 compared to only 36 kilograms per year by the 1990s. As such, with being one of the most popular meats in the industry, pig farming is widespread and will have an estimated value of over $470 billion in profits per year by 2030 as per the FAO. Indeed, in the Western countries, pig meat sells up to about $2 to $4 per pound, with the cost of maintaining a pig being around $100. A pig selling about $500, pig profits may vary between $100 and $500 per head, making it a valuable investment long term. China leads such market with 34 million metric tons of pork products produced. The European Union comes right behind with 24.1 million metric tons of pork produce, and the United States comes in third with about 13 million metric tons of pork products produced. The United Kingdom is far behind compared to other developed countries, with a global 30th rank with 5 million heads in the country. They stand behind Colombia and right above Romania and Laos. As such, most pig meat in the UK is actually imported, most notably from the European Union. In the UK, 70% of these pigs are on farms with more than 1,000 individuals, and 90 to 95% of these pigs are on farms with more than 100 individuals. In total, the UK only boasts 100,000 farms, while the European Union as a whole counts for just over 1.5 million, with only 500,000 actually being farms holding over 9 pigs. The European Union's production comes mostly from 6 countries, which handle 3/4 of the EU production: Spain, Germany, France, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Poland, and is key to the EU economy as 35% of meat output comes from pigs farming, making it the largest percentage of any meat produce. There has been a recent surge in pig farming in the UK, with almost 30% of all farms being 5 years or younger. As such, the average income in pig farmers in the UK is one of the lowest in all farming industries, with an average 32.5k pounds in profit per year compared to 50k on average, which is a 49% decrease from 2016. In addition, close to 25% of pig farms in the UK aren't profitable, with most farmers turning to other crops to turn a profit, while on the other hand of the spectrum, 20% of pig farms make more than 75k per year, proving that it is indeed a profitable business, although those are well-established farms already. One of the reasons for the low profits in the UK is due to the high maintenance costs of pigs, with money being poured into food, labor, machinery, cleaning, and other fees, which results in the average profit per pig in the UK only being 150 pounds compared to 500 pounds you could get in the US, or an average 300 pounds in the EU. However, the UK is one of the highest countries in terms of pig welfare standards, which is one of the reasons for the small profits, because of how much that pig welfare influences the costs cutting on profits.
Pigs use their flight zone, point of balance of the senses such as hearing and smelling, in order to be aware of their surroundings. Another characteristic trait of their pigs is that they prefer to stay with other pigs for protection and their hair behavior, which is flowing and bunching, as they are dependent on how much they sense their fear and their available space. Pigs have maternal behavior and nest building needs. Farrowing and nest building are affected by their environment and their stress factors. Their routine behavior is associated with foraging, and the feeding behavior is really important as well. It is observed for various reasons, such as comfort and cooling off. The levels of rooting are always dependent on their response to nutritional needs. That's why it is always best to keep a pig in the proper substrate for better exploitation. Another behavioral characteristic of the pigs is the wallowing in mud or rolling and kicking in muddy waters. More particularly, wallowing is associated with not only with behavioral needs such as feeding, drinking, and urinating, but is related to scent marking, mostly for sexual and social relationships. Finally, pigs from a very young age forming social dominance in relationships in order to form a hierarchy. It is observed between male pigs, aggressive behaviors, and fighting. For these reasons, we constructed a survey with a series of questions in order to coax the public's opinion on pig farming. Only 3% of the participants have owned pigs in the past or have worked in the pig industry. Overall, the general public has a very positive opinion of pigs. 80% of the participants eat pig meat on a 1 to 3 times per week basis and buy products such as fruit gums or wine containing gelatin. There's a large percentage of people who look at the product labels, but a third who do not. Furthermore, the vast majority of humans do not know much or almost nothing about the pig farming in the industries in the regions. However, they seem to think that the welfare of the region is really bad and can definitely be improved. There's an equal amount of humans who can identify and are aware of the pig's natural behavioral traits, but a lot of people have no idea about it. They're not sure if the natural behaviors are met in the outdoor systems, but most people believe that the indoor systems do not allow people to present these behaviors. However, they do not feel comfortable when it comes to techniques that are being used in the intensive farms, such as saw stalls and in general painful procedures without the use of anesthesia. The majority of people who did not care about the pig welfare in the past changed the tune when presenting within human practices used with intensive farming. Lastly, most participants said that they're willing to pay extra for higher welfare standards, but the amount of how much varied greatly across responders.
Pig farm is classified as intensive when it has more than 2,000 pigs. Unfortunately, the number of such farms keeps increasing in the UK. Since 2017, the number of industrial-sized pig farms increased by 7% because of the increasing low-price meat demand. 60% of UK's pig farms are classed as intensive, in which pigs are kept indoors in overcrowded concrete or stall floor pens. Intensive pig farms are damaging local biodiversity and local communities, and of course have an impact on welfare of the pigs. Pigs raised for meat are bred to have higher than normal growth rates and are kept in overcrowded barns with no straw to root or sleep, with no daylight or fresh air. Pigs are constantly experiencing boredom and stress, which leads to aggression towards one another and stress-induced behavior, bar biting. Sow stalls are limited in Europe, however still popular in most US intensive indoor farms. Such stalls deprive pigs of most natural behaviors, restrict movement, and induce stress. Moreover, most of the farms do not feed pigs enough, so they experience constant hunger. In the UK, 60% of pig sows that are about to give birth are kept in farrowing crates, which are very similar to the sow stalls except that they have space for piglets. Farrowing crates have the same problems associated with sow stalls. Unfortunately, a recent attempt to ban farrowing crates in the UK was unsuccessful. European legislation does not permit routine tail docking. However, it is still performed on 70% of pigs in the UK and widely performed in intensive farms across US and Europe. Piglet's tail is removed in order to prevent stress-induced tail biting. The procedure is usually performed without anesthetics and causes pain, reduces the physical integrity, and might cause spinal abscesses. Moreover, underlying causes of tail biting remain present. Male castration is performed in order to reduce bad taste of the pork. Procedure is carried out without anesthetics and causes short and long-term pain and stress for piglets leaves them prone to infections and post-surgical complications and may have negative effects on growth and immune system. Castration is performed only on 2% of the pigs in the UK, but in the US and other European countries such as Sweden, Denmark, and Spain, it is still carried out on most of the swines. Industrialized indoor farms deprive pigs of their natural behavior, induce pain, stress, boredom, aggression, and suffering. Such farms do not provide pigs with enough straw and is an overall big welfare problem, as pigs have a life not worth living. It would be important to mention that big farms do not necessarily mean intensive farming. Some semi-indoor farms with natural light and fresh air, which provides pigs with necessary straw bedding and spacious protected areas, can be better than small outdoor farms where pigs are susceptible to diseases or neglect in adverse weather conditions.
Less intensive farms go after the term organic to turn a profit. Keep in mind, not all farms who raise their pigs outdoors are organic, though all organic pigs are raised outdoors. In the EU and the UK, there are 3 types of systems that allow for the label organic to be printed alongside a pack of bacon. The first is where pigs are raised primarily indoors, where their only access to the world beyond is a limited concrete outside run. This is the case in many farms in Austria and Germany. The second system is where pigs are kept completely outdoors in a field in their own huts. This can be seen in Denmark, Italy, and the UK. The final system is a blend of indoor and outdoor areas based on different time periods for pigs, such as weaning, rearing, and farrowing. This can be seen in France and Sweden. France in particular allows farrowing to take place in an open shed filled with straw, whereas Sweden keeps farrowing sows indoors. Across the EU, there are regulations on how much space and weaning time must be given to pigs to be termed organic. Generally, these regulations allow for pigs to express a higher level of natural behavior and have a higher satisfaction in their lives. In the UK, around 40% of pigs are raised outdoors. Outdoor raised pigs generally display better health due to not being crammed around other pigs constantly and the exposure to soil and other bacteria which boost the immune system. This means pigs born and raised outdoors will be less susceptible to illness and disease, thus displaying better welfare. Pigs are also able to forage and explore when let outside, fulfilling their innate behaviors as pigs. Here's an example of a farm in Arkansas that allows for pigs to basically live in their natural habitat as if they were feral hogs. Here's another example of a small outdoor British farm that provides outstanding welfare for their pigs. When comparing the meat quality of outdoor farms to indoor farms, they produce roughly the same quality of meat. While marbling in outdoor raised pigs is relatively less, the color of the meat is roughly the same. Indoor farms generally have higher production and product uniformity. For outdoor farms to be competitive economically against indoor farms, there would need to be faster, larger production, and a greater push towards consumers being willing to pay more for organic pig meat. Outdoor raised farms are a great alternative to indoor pig farming. It allows for pigs to be pigs and live a satisfactory life compared to those trapped in a factory farm.
So what can we expect from the future of pig farming? Well, as countries develop, a move towards more intensive farming can be expected, but so can a push towards higher welfare standards. As public awareness increases, demand for products from better kept animals drives change. The UK has some of the highest welfare standards in the world, followed by the EU, and yet, as we've seen, many pigs continue to be housed in inadequate conditions, failing to meet their natural behaviour requirements. In the EU, the Pig Directive 2008 states that pigs kept in groups should have access to litter or other materials that provide the possibility for exploration and occupation. In theory, following this guideline should prevent most tail biting outbreaks. However, 90 to 95% of pigs in the EU still have their tails routinely docked. Surely it's a moral no-brainer to care for the animals we depend on for food and livelihood to the best of our ability. Yet implementation of improved welfare standards hasn't occurred across the industry. This is most prominently due to the economic barrier. Often there must be an obvious return on investment for producers to adopt enrichment strategies, and those strategies may not always improve production. The blue and yellow sections of the graph on screen show the percentage increase in production costs of different systems of growing pigs and breeding sows. Overall, research indicates that increasing welfare standards can only be achieved by also increasing production costs. For the most part, though, the additional cost is moderate at less than 10% compared to basic welfare standards. And our public survey strongly suggested that most consumers would be happy to pay extra for higher welfare goods. So it's reasonable to expect then that increasing meat prices would be accepted, but only if the public is made aware of why. In the UK, there's still talk of banning farrowing crates to improve the welfare of breeding sows. As you can see from the green section of the graph, farrowing sows outdoors has by far the lowest production cost compared to all indoor systems. This would be a positive alternative to farrowing crates, however, not all farms have the space, land condition or climate to allow for this farming style. You can also see that the production costs of using free farrowing pens are only marginally more expensive than traditional farrowing crates. That said, the initial investment to upgrade current systems is substantial, with conventional crates costing around £3,000 each, and free farrowing pens coming in at more than double that at around £7,000. Concerningly, a poll within the industry indicated that 43% of indoor producers would exit the industry if farrowing crates were to be banned in future. So, the economic pressure of improving welfare is of real concern to producers. There's also a worry that in banning farrowing crates within the UK, demand for cheap meat would drive increased imports of poorer welfare products and simply shift the problem internationally. Again, it's important then to make the public aware of why local meat costs more, and so encourage them to pay that premium. Going forward then, you as a consumer can help to influence change by actively seeking to purchase high welfare products. Labels such as RSPCA Assured and Soil Association are great to look out for, or ask your local butcher how their meat's produced. Other ways to affect change are to vote for political leaders who promise to improve welfare in your region, to support NGO campaigns, and to educate the people around you so that they too can make informed decisions about the meat that they eat.